Nobody tells you when it starts. There is no notification. No moment where the numbers cross a threshold and an alarm sounds and someone hands you a certificate that says you are doing it right. It does not work that way. What actually happens is quieter and stranger, and most people miss it entirely because they are looking for the wrong signals. They are waiting to feel rich. And feeling rich is almost never how it begins. What begins is a series of small mechanical shifts. The system around you, the banking system, the credit system, the tax system, the investment system, starts responding to you differently. Not because you announced anything. Not because you made one dramatic decision. But because something in your financial behavior changed, and systems are designed to detect exactly that kind of change and respond to it automatically. Most people live inside these systems their entire lives without understanding how they work. They experience the outputs, the approvals, the rejections, the fees, the offers, without ever understanding the inputs that produced them. They don't know why the credit card offer arrived this month and not last year. They don't know why the loan rate improved. They don't know why the bank that had nothing for them suddenly has everything. This video is about those signals. The 6 signs that the system has already started treating you differently. The 6 signs that something is building even when you cannot feel it yet. Not inspirational. Not a checklist. Just an honest explanation of how the mechanism actually works and what it looks like from the inside when it starts moving in your direction. Sign 1. Your bank stops charging you to exist. This one is so small that most people never notice it. They just stop seeing the charge. For a long time, if you had a basic checking account with a balance that didn't consistently clear a certain threshold, the bank charged you a monthly maintenance fee. $12. Sometimes $15. Automatically withdrawn because your average daily balance did not meet the minimum requirement. The minimum is usually $1,500. Sometimes $500 depending on the institution. If you had that amount sitting there consistently, the fee disappeared. If you didn't, it stayed. What this means in practice is that the bank was charging you for not having enough money. The account designed to hold your money was itself costing you money. And because the charge was automated and arrived on the same date every month, most people absorbed it as a fixed cost of existence. Something you just paid. Like a subscription you forgot you were running. Then something changes. Your income stabilizes. Your direct deposit becomes consistent. The pattern of your account shifts from irregular and low to predictable and moderate. And the fee disappears. Not because the bank decided to be generous. Not because you called and negotiated. Because your financial behavior crossed an internal threshold that the bank system was monitoring, and the system responded automatically by removing the charge. This is the first sign. Not the absence of a fee. What the absence of the fee represents. It means your account is now a different category of account in the bank's internal classification. You have moved from the tier they service with automation to the tier they are beginning to compete for. The fee disappearing is not a reward. It is a reclassification. And reclassification means the system has registered something it considers significant. Most people spend that $12 or $15 and never think about why it stopped. That is the mistake. The sign is not in the money saved. The sign is in what the money's absence tells you about where you now sit inside the machine. Sign 2. Credit finds you before you go looking for it. For a while, if you needed credit, you went to get it. You researched cards, you filled out applications, you waited for approvals or rejections that arrived without explanation. The process was yours to initiate. The bank waited. Then the mail changes. The app changes. Offers start appearing that you did not request. A credit card offer arrives, not the secured kind that requires you to deposit your own money as collateral, an actual card with an actual credit limit. A pre-approval notice shows up inside your banking app. A personal loan offer appears at an interest rate that is meaningfully better than what you would have been quoted 18 months ago. What changed is not your desire for credit. What changed is your risk profile. The system is continuously modeling you. Every transaction, every payment, every balance carried or not carried, every month your account reflects consistency. All of it feeds a profile that the bank's algorithms update in real time. When that profile crosses certain thresholds, the bank's behavior changes. They stop waiting for you to come to them. They start coming to you. This matters more than it sounds. The direction of the relationship is the signal. When you were initiating and they were evaluating, you were a risk to be priced. When they are initiating and you are evaluating, you are an asset to be acquired. That is a different commercial relationship entirely. You are no longer applying for access. They are competing for your business. And businesses compete for things they consider valuable. Most people feel vaguely pleased when the offers start arriving and do not stop to ask what the arrival means. What it means is that your financial profile has become attractive enough that the institution is now willing to spend money, actual marketing money, to acquire your relationship. That is how they see it. As an acquisition. You are worth acquiring now. That is a different status than the one you had before. Notice it. Sign 3. Volatility stops feeling like an emergency. At some point your relationship with financial uncertainty changes. Not because you became braver. Because the math underneath your life shifted and your nervous system registered it even if your conscious mind didn't. Here is what used to happen. An unexpected expense arrived. A car repair, a medical bill, a month where 2 large charges landed at the same time. And the response was immediate and visceral. Calculations running in the background at all times. Which bill can wait? Whether this paycheck lands before that charge processes. The specific anxiety of checking your balance before a transaction because you are not certain what the number will be. This is not a character flaw. This is arithmetic. When the margin between your income and your expenses is thin, every unexpected variable is a threat. The anxiety is not irrational. It is a perfectly calibrated response to genuine instability. Then the margin changes. Not dramatically. Incrementally. You pay off one debt and don't replace it with another. The savings account reaches a number that could absorb 1 bad month. Then 2. The emergency that used to derail a paycheck becomes an inconvenience that the savings account handles without touching the rest of your financial structure, and the anxiety shifts. Not gone. Recalibrated. You still notice the unexpected expense. You still feel it. But the feeling is no longer the same quality of feeling. It does not trigger the cascading calculations. It does not sit in the back of your mind for 3 weeks while you figure out how to manage it. It is a problem with a solution that already exists. The money is there. The solution is boring. You pay it and move forward. This recalibration is one of the least discussed and most significant signs that something is building. It is not visible in a number. It is visible in a behavioral shift. In the fact that checking your balance becomes neutral instead of charged. In the fact that financial conversations stop feeling like threats and start feeling like logistics. The system outside you hasn't changed. The volatility is the same. What changed is your cushion against it. And cushion, real cushion, is one of the earliest forms of actual financial safety. Not glamorous. Not visible. But real in the way that invisible things are real in their effects. Sign 4. Time starts working for you instead of against you. This is the one that takes the longest to feel and produces the most dramatic long-term results. When you have very little money, time is neutral at best and hostile at worst. A debt left unpaid grows. A fee not caught compounds. The interest on a credit card balance you are carrying does not wait for you to be ready. It accrues daily. Time, in those conditions, is a mechanism that makes your problems larger if you do not address them immediately. Then the direction reverses. When the investment account crosses $10,000, a 1% move is $100. When it crosses $50,000, a 7% annual return is $3,500 added without a single additional contribution from you. When it crosses $100,000, a reasonable year in the market can add $8,000 to $12,000 to your position while you are doing something else entirely. The money is working. Not metaphorically. Mechanically. It is inside a system designed to grow capital. And because you placed capital inside it and left it there, the system is doing what it was built to do. Most people understand this concept abstractly. Very few feel it until the numbers are large enough that the returns are visible against their other income. The month you notice that your portfolio gained more in 30 days than you earned from 10 hours of work is a specific kind of moment. It does not feel like getting rich. It feels like finally understanding how the math was always supposed to work. This is compounding. Not the word but the experience. The lived reality that your money is now generating returns that generate their own returns and the curve is beginning to steepen in a direction that favors you. The early years of this are nearly invisible. The later years become nearly automatic. The inflection point between those two phases is not dramatic. It is a quiet morning when you check the account and realize that time is now on your side in a way it has never been before. That what you built yesterday is contributing to what you will have tomorrow without any additional effort from you. That is a different relationship with time than most people ever experience. And once you feel it, the logic of wealth accumulation stops being theoretical. Sign 5. The price of money gets cheaper. This one operates invisibly in the background of your financial life for years before most people recognize what is happening. Money has a price. Most people do not think about it this way, but it does. When you borrow money, you pay for access to it. The rate you pay is the price, and the price is not fixed. It is personal. It is set based on the lender's assessment of how risky it is to lend to you specifically. The higher the risk, the higher the price. When you were starting out, the price was high. The credit card was 24% because your history was short and the bank was uncertain. The personal loan was 11% because the collateral was thin and the relationship was new. You were paying a premium for access to capital because you had not yet demonstrated that lending you capital was safe. Then your payment history grows. The balances you carry shrink or disappear. Your credit score moves through the range from fair to good to very good. And the price of money starts to fall. The car loan you get now is not 11%. It is 6%. The mortgage pre-qualification comes back with a rate that would not have been offered to the version of you that existed 3 years ago. The personal loan, if you need one, carries terms that are meaningfully different from what they would have been before. The difference in dollar terms is not small. A $100,000 mortgage at 7% versus 5.5% is approximately $75 per month in payment difference. Over 30 years, that difference is $27,000. The same house, the same bank, the same transaction. Different price. Based entirely on the risk assessment the lender assigns to you. Getting rich is partly about accumulating. It is also partly about paying less for the same things. Every basis point your borrowing cost drops is a basis point that stays in your hands instead of the lender's. Over a financial lifetime, those basis points accumulate into amounts of money that are genuinely significant. Most people never track this. They feel vaguely positive when a rate comes back better than expected and move on. What they should feel is recognition. The system is telling you something about how it now classifies you. Lower rate means lower risk in the bank's model. Lower risk in the bank's model means your profile has shifted. Your profile shifting is the sign, not the rate itself. What the rate reveals about where you stand. Sign 6. People start assuming things about you that used to be wrong. This is the most uncomfortable sign and the most telling one. At some point, the way other people interact with you around money changes. Not because you announced anything. Not because your appearance changed dramatically. Because the invisible signals that people read without knowing they are reading them have shifted. And the assumptions that follow from those signals shift with them. The financial advisor who used to hand you the basic brochure starts asking different questions. The bank employee who used to direct you to the standard product starts mentioning things that are not on the public menu. The conversation at work or at a dinner table about property or investment lands differently when you are in the room because something about your presence in that conversation has changed. You did not change the words. The weight of your participation changed. This is not about performance. It is not about pretending. It is about what happens when the financial substance underneath your life grows dense enough that it starts exerting gravitational force in the spaces around you. People respond to that gravitational force even when they cannot identify its source. The assumptions used to be wrong. That is the thing worth sitting with. There was a version of your life where people looked at you and assumed one financial reality. Now they look at you and the assumption is different. Not because of the car or the clothes or the neighborhood, though those things sometimes shift too. Because of something less visible and more real. Because of the cumulative effect of consistent decisions made over time in the absence of applause or recognition or external validation. Nobody told you when it started. But it started. And the world around you is beginning to reflect that back to you in the assumptions people make before you have said anything at all. None of them feel like winning. None of them arrive with ceremony or announcement. The fee disappears quietly. The credit offer shows up in the mail. The anxiety that used to follow you into every financial decision slowly, incrementally, stops following. The returns become visible in a way they weren't before. The rates improve in ways that take a calculator and a longer time horizon to fully appreciate. The assumptions people make shift in ways that are almost impossible to point to directly. This is what building wealth actually looks like from the inside. Not the version in the advertisement. Not the lifestyle post. Not the number someone announces with a screenshot. The real version, which is invisible, incremental, mechanical, and deeply boring to watch from the outside and completely transformative to live through from the inside. The system was not built to tell you when you're moving up through it. It was built to respond to financial behavior automatically and without commentary, which means the feedback is always indirect, always embedded in a rate, a fee, an offer, an assumption. If you know how to read those signals, you can locate yourself inside the system with a precision that feelings alone will never give you. And if these 6 signs are present in your life right now, in any combination, in any degree, then something is already happening. You may not feel rich. You may be years from any number you would describe that way. But the direction is set. The mechanism is engaged. The system has registered something about your financial behavior that it considers significant.